Welcome to a new test and teardown video. Here's a TRIO 20 MHz oscilloscope CS-1566A. It is from the start of 1980s. So between those two oscilloscopes you see here, there's about 45 years of progress. It is a little bit funny. This one is really not that deep compared to much faster models. They are so much deeper if they go really fast. And what I really like about this good old analog oscilloscope here is that there isn't any fancy smancy features and all those kind of things to confuse. We got just two channels, one time base, a little bit of triggering, and it can't really do a lot more than that. So let's just dig in what is inside, because I need to open and do a little bit of a visual inspection before I just power this one up. Inside, that will be all the time-based trigger stuff. Of course, I see a little bit of some sort of corrosion problems like that. I can of course clean this, but this looks a little bit like it was wet or dirty while it was powered up. And I also think I see something like that over here. It's not, well, you can easily clean this. And of course we got a lot of dust and dirt. But there is one, this is of course all the power supply from the power supply board. But there is one thing that's even more funny. So when I open this little diode fell out. And it was a completely loose diode. And it is called RK600B. So it is a special high voltage diode. So this means I tried to take my multimeter here and just do a little diode test. But of course this diode forward voltage test here is using a lower voltage, so you can't really measure the high voltage diodes. They are designed using many diodes in series, and this way they handle a lot of voltage. This one is supposed to be 7.8 volt at, I can't remember exactly how many milliamps or something like that. I'm just using a 1K resistor, and my source voltage here is 12 volt, just to see if this is a diode or whatever it is. And there you have it, 4 volts forward voltage. So I think this diode is working, or perhaps some of the diodes, they could be shorted, so it's leaking, or somehow this is to blame because somebody else pulled this from this product. It could be that it's not working, so I should maybe also measure its leakage in reverse and all that kind of stuff. I found the location here in the, look at this white wire. Just below this white wire, can you see there's a diode missing? This one is called 411. So diode 411 is this one. And of course we got some more clues. That will be the vertical amplifiers. It's very simple stuff. This scope here is not running that fast. And that will of course be the power supply board, and also there is a little bit of deflection amplifier going on right here. We got the output from the deflection to the deflection amplifier is, I will show this in a second. But here is this diode where it is missing to the high voltage rectifier system. So of course this oscilloscope is not working, and I need to figure out what is going on here. Here is this high impedance feeder, this signal from the vertical amplifier board into the vertical output amplifier. That will be the CRT deflection driver. And they really try to do this quite nice and good. And what we can see here, because you can imagine if you put in a delay line here, then we'll be able to see the leading edge of a signal. And since we're triggering on the signal that we want to see, that means we will not see this leading edge without this delay line. So that is probably where it should be if we buy the more expensive upgraded version with this delay line. Yeah, clearly 1980s. Oh, here you can also see this voltage selector done by some internal switches and stuff like that. This is not in use in this model because they made it here at the back. So it's much easier just to access this from the back. I also pulled the fuse and that one is good and intact. Let's look a little bit at the schematic. Here in the middle we see D411, and this is definitely the rectifier diode for the high voltage. It is running at minus 1.9 kilovolts on the cathode, and everything else is more or less positive, quite low voltages, about a little bit under 100 volts on the deflection and all that kind of stuff. So this is more or less the 2000 volts this unit is running at. So I think I will put back D411 because that is there's nothing wrong with that diode. So there's probably something else in this high voltage system that is causing all the problems. So now the diode is back again. That was a little bit difficult to get all the way in there. And I put everything here in the middle. And of course I have my high voltage probe, the big red one you can see here. So now I'm monitoring the cathode voltage and it should be minus 1.9 kilovolts. So let's just try and, yeah, I'm of course controlling the input on my little variable here. And then we can easily see what is going on. So it is generating a lot of negative supply. We have only 150 volts input, and we got minus 1.9 now. Is it regulated? Yes, it is even regulated. Now I have 230 volts. So the guy that was playing with this unit before me, he was, oh, look at that. He was guessing something wrong when it comes to what is going on. So we have a beam, but the beam is quite dim. But focus is in the middle. Yeah, we got a beam. I'll play with this now and see if all the other voltages they are okay, but definitely intensity is all the way up. So it's probably something with the blanking. I will now try and see if the blanking is working. I already figured this out. So it has something to do with blanking. So here's what I'm playing with. Let me try and move this a little bit away. And here is my mains voltage. I don't know if we can see this. Can we see this is something annoying with this LCD display, but here is 230 volts and look how dim it is. Whoa, hey man. See, it's super dim. I was trying to get this blink away. So now, if I crank down the voltage a little bit, see? Ooh, it gets really nice and bright. So now we're running at 205 volts input. So we are under voltage, and now the blinking is working. So there's some sort of bias voltages and stuff that is affecting how the blinking is working, and that is the problem that we need to look at. Oh, here it goes. My crap. But anyway, I really like this service manual. Here is a page about the blanking, how this works. And I've added a little bit of text here that explains the intensity potentiometer. There is a 5-volt signal on one side of this potentiometer. And we got, of course, some very narrow pulses going down every time there's a retrace or the chop signals or anything like that. So that will be 0 volts means 0 brightness. And of course, I needed to pull the intensity potentiometer all the way to the max to get just a little bit of brightness. And I think because we can see that there is actually the beam is turning on and off. So it's not constantly off or constantly on. All this on-off gating and all that kind of stuff is actually working. So all those many transistors we see here in this circuit, like 5 transistors and all those many diodes and capacitors and all that stuff, I don't want to mess around too much in this also, because there's quite a lot of voltage going on here. And if we look to the very left of this schematic, we can see there is a trimmer for the cut point. So that means you can adjust the brightness to absolutely maximum, and then by turning this trimmer up and down, find the point where you get a lot of brightness but still get the turning off points. And here is this trimmer. It's marked. I added to add a little here, so I'm going the right place when I'm poking around here at the front. And what do you know? Problem is solved. So now we got this oscilloscope nice and fine up and running. And how about we test the bandwidth? So I got my through 50 ohm termination right here. And this is of course required to get the correct amplitude and all that. So let's see what happens. This is 100 kilohertz. Let's just crank it all the way up. Let's go a factor 10. So this is 1 megahertz. And then we of course dial this a little bit. See, this is of course not a problem. Ooh, we start to see something here. This is 10 megahertz. Oh dear. This is not working. Ah, here we go. Okay, so we just need to massage the switches a little bit. And then now we need a little bit more brightness, of course. But that was 10 megahertz. And then we go all the way to 20 megahertz. And I think this is actually a little bit less than 3 dB, to be honest. There's a way to do this. I didn't really care about that, to be honest. But it still triggers pretty good. And it's only, I think it was probably only 1 or 2 dBs. Let's go back. So 10, yeah, so that was 10. And that is 1 megahertz. Oh dear. Wow. So I definitely think this is doing more than 20 megahertz. So I'm quite happy about this. So of course we need to go and play a little bit with XY mode. Don't you think this is pretty nice? I need to trace rotate a little bit and maybe play a little bit with, okay, focus is like that. It also moves the picture quite a lot, this focus. Oh, let's do a little bonus. Probably didn't didn't show this. Let me show this. So I'm playing around with my signal generator. So let's put in 0.2 hertz, and then it's spinning around the picture. Isn't that just beautiful? I could do it half the speed, or even less like that. So this generator that I'm using the IQ mode, and in IQ mode I've uploaded a file that is running the vector graphics, and by using this in the special playback mode that's called IQ, you can of course rotate the phases between the two outputs, and so that is all there is about all this IQ and modulation stuff. If you just play this back as an ordinary file, you don't have this option obviously, and put back 0, then there is no rotation modulation, and then you have a steady picture like that. I think that was all I wanted to show. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a little bit of fun. I'm super happy I was lucky to be able to repair this one. Oh, very, very easy. I was a little bit sad when I saw this component falling out when I opened the unit, I gotta say that. See you around. Bye bye.